Hello, my dear viewers. I am very glad to meet you with one more title called Theatre Groups, and Audience. As you are all students of literature, it's very important to know about theatre group, and audience in drama. First and foremost, I welcome you all to my channel, Little Ladybug. When we started studying drama, we cannot forget Elizabethan Theatre. So, at the beginning of the 16th century, many plays were based upon religious themes, morality plays, and miracle plays, and stories have been taken from the Bible, miracles of Jesus, um, uh, parables of Jesus have been enacted in the public. The main exception to this were the plays put on by wandering groups of actors. They are called strolling players. The plays put on by these groups were often far from religious, and the authorities tried to ban them because uh, it may not come under moral values or ethics that is very important in those times. Even now it is very proponent. The themes of the plays changed during the Elizabeth's reign, and English playwrights began to write comedies and tragedies. By the end of Queen Elizabeth's reign, playwrights such as Marlowe, Johnson, Shakespeare, who were writing the plays, which are now very famous. As watching the plays became more popular, were built instead of using the courtyards of inns. The popularity of stage plays led to the building of the Rose Theatre, Swan, and Globe Theatres in London between 1587 to 1598. So these are all just an introduction to the theatre. And let us move into what are the main features of Elizabethan theatre. So Elizabethan theatre was open theatre, and the plays are performed in daylight during the day. And the flag would be flown from the top of the theatre to show the audience or the public that the play is going to be performed. So, looking at the flag, people may know that there is a play going to be performed in the theatre. And people sat around the stage in the galleries. And the cheapest place was in the front stage, where ordinary people, that is the commoners, who were also known as groundlings, they sit and watch the play. And women parts were mostly played by boys. And long speeches are introduced in the plays, which gave actors time and chance to change their clothes during the scenes. And there was generally a plenty of violence, bloodshed, horror, because people, the audience, Tudor audience, loved it. And during Queen Elizabeth's first reign, plays are performed in both public and private venues, and with the Globe Theatre being the prominent example. The audiences are composed of all social classes, from groundlings who stand in the pit and the nobles who seated in the galleries. And plays also feature diverse genres like comedies, tragedies, histories, tragic comedies, and they were all performed, all male acting companies, no women actors in Elizabethan theatre. So let us move on to the type of theatres. Elizabethan theatre saw the rise of both public and private playhouses. So, public theatres. First one is public theatres. They were open in structures like the globe, capable of holding large crowds, maybe up to 3,000 people. Hence, the theatres were located outside the city. That's why it could accommodate more number of people. Okay. And then private theater, next type of theaters are private theaters. They are all very small and they are mostly indoor theaters. These theaters are also very popular during the colder months, during the very chill and cold climate, during the winter times. They offer more intimate setting. So there are two types of theatres, public theatre and private theatres. And audience, when we looked at audience, Elizabethan theatre audiences were diverse group. They belong to all social strata. First one is groundlings. They are the common people who stood in the open yard at the base of the stage, paying the lowest fee, admission price. Nobility, those people are royal people, those who belong to the upper class, uh, nobles, lords, kings, queens. They could offer more expensive seats in the galleries and they could enjoy a better view and comfort. So audience also, there is a different types of audience. One is groundlings, they are commoners. Next one is nobility. Okay. And there are some practices observed in Elizabethan theatre. So, what are those practices? First one is all male acting characters. Due to societal restrictions and norms, all roles were played only by men, though female characters also played by young boys. So that is one practice. Next one is open air performance. Public theaters were open air. That means the plays are often performed during the daylight. That is second one. Third one is the stage design. Stages were very simple, often incorporating elements like raised stage, upper galleries, and a roof. And here you can see in the presentation that the theatre was wooden in structure and the shape is hexagonal in shape, round within. So in the stage, boxes were covered. And in this slide, you can notice that how the stage is divided: front stage, backstage, inner stage, and upper stage. Front stage, the fair, funeral, procession, and battlefield. The front stage can be used for showing, procession, funerals, or warfield. So that is front stage. Backstage is there is a pillar. Behind the pillar, right side is one entrance and the left side is exit, where Actors enter the stage and exit the stage. Okay, that is backstage. Behind the backstage was inner stage, which could be used as bedroom uh, or private room. That is inner stage. So above the inner stage was upper stage, which could be used as a window or balcony in Romeo and Juliet. Okay, so this is how the stage is divided into four different types. That is front stage, back stage, inner stage, and upper stage. Okay, and here the first theatre was uh, created or established by James Babbage, that is Globe Theatre. Okay, this is the person, that is James Babbage, who finds the first theatre in England. And other acting troupes or acting companies are Lord Strange's Men, Lord Chamberlain's Men, Admiral's Men, and the King's Men. They are all acting troupes who performed the plays. And again, I told you already what type of audience, that is nobility and groundlings. Groundlings, they are standing and sitting in front of the stage, and the nobles, they have occupied, they are seated in the galleries. So it's quite clear, visible in this slide. Yes. So audience attract people from all classes. Upper class is called nobility, lower class people is commoners or groundlings. This is the globe theatre, structure of globe theatre. Audience referred to as groundlings. They pay 1 penny to stand and watch the play. And they could stand in the pit of the theatre. And how they enjoy the play. So they say particular lines, the audience say particular lines, and they started sing along with songs, and they started beating their neighbors and friends when they watch comedy scenes which are going on in the stage. Okay, and then the genre of the play also varied from comedies, histories, and tragedies, and exploring various themes of history, romance, and tragedy. Okay, and then special reference to audiences, that is, London theatre goers or audiences. The London playgoers loved the theatre. It was their opportunity to see the great plays and each other. So theater is a opportunity for them to watch plays and also meet people. So for that they come to the theater. Next one is Elizabethan audience capacity. The theaters could hold 1,500 people, and this number expanded to 3,000 with the people who crowded outside the theaters. So the theaters are established outside the city so that it could accommodate more number of audience. Okay. And next one is Queen Elizabeth I loved watching plays. So these were generally performed in indoor playhouses for her pleasures. So she is quite interested in watching plays. Uh, so it was performed. The plays have been performed indoor playhouses for her joy and pleasure. She would not have attended the plays performed at the amphitheaters like the commoner who are going to the theater. So she won't come to that theater. She she watched plays in the indoor theatre, that is private theatre. And nobles would have paid for the better seats in the lords' rooms. They paying $5 for the privilege. And the commoners called the groundlings or stinkards. They would have stood in the theatre pit and they paid 1 penny or 1 rupee, 1 penny for entrance fee. And they put in a box at the theatre entrance, hence the term box office. So, this is how the word box office came into existence. So, here that phrase is very popular. So, the box office price were determined by the comfort of the seats. Our next one is special effects were also spectacular in addition to the Elizabethan theatres to thrill the audience with smoke effects and firing a real cannon, fireworks for battle scenes, and spectacular flying entrances from rigging in the heavens. So these are all some effects, thrilling effects also introduced in order to attract the audiences. Okay, and then facilities ranged from basic to non-existent also. Flags, crests, mottos, advertisements were erected on the day of the performance, which sometimes displayed a picture advertising the next play to be performed. So they have the habit of advertising their plays, and color coding was also used to advertise the type of the play to be performed. So through the colors, the audience or the people public could notice that what type of a play is going to be performed. So a black flag indicates that it is a tragedy. If it is white, a comedy. A red means red flag refers to history. So through the colors of the flag, people came to know that what type of a play, what genre of a play is going to be performed. Okay. And then a crest displaying Hercules bearing the globe on his shoulders together is the motto of the theatre. There it is written, Totus Mundus Agit Historinum. That means the whole world is a playhouse. That was displayed above the main entrance of the Globe Theatre. This phrase was reworded in William Shakespeare's As You Like It. So, in that play, Shakespeare referred that all the world is a stage and all men and women are merely players. So this is the caption. It was an inspiration from the caption written on the entrance of the Globe Theatre. I hope that I try to share more number of ideas about Elizabethan theatre. I just wanted to share um, something about a little more information about theatre. Please let me explain to you briefly now. Here, during the time of Queen Elizabeth, people were devoid of any religious conflicts and they led a very peaceful life. They needed fun in their life. So audience was interested in watching dramas during their leisure time. Apart from the royal family and the courtiers, even the common men and groundlings needed some places where they could enjoy watching plays. So that was the glorious time of great dramatists like Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, and university wits to showcase their ability in staging plays. Hence, many playhouses were built in and around London. Shakespeare performed at the Globe and the Blackfriars Theatre. Most plays of Shakespeare were performed in Globe Theatre, which was built in 1599, where there were inner and outer platforms. It was open to all. Working class peasants paid a week's salary to buy a seat in the theatre. The groundlings paid less to stand in front of the stage for the show. The theatre was really small with the audience, very much a part of a play. Sometimes they would harass the actors and yell the correct lines to them if they flubbed, and groundlings were known to jump onto the stage and show an actor how to wield a sword if they thought it was being done wrong. So some interesting aspects also involved the when they looked at the audience. So how they involved themselves along with the audience. Many of Shakespeare's plays were also performed at small friars or playhouses around England. Or, and then Shakespeare's company, the Lord Chamberlain's Men, was one of several performed at the theatre. And Globe was later built by Richard Babbage. Okay, these are all other factors about the theatre, and there are theatre conventions too. Some of theatre conventions, that is, if it is a drama, there should be soliloquy, aside, and boys performing female roles, mask, eavesdropping, presentational acting style, dialogues, play within the play or interlude, stagecraft. So everything is employed in Elizabethan theatre. So, so we have seen detailed account of Elizabethan theatre, structure of the theatre, audiences and their reaction, what type of audience and types of theatres, everything in this presentation. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for watching Lit Ladybug channel. Uh, please inform your friends about this presentation and ask them to watch. Thank you for watching. I will meet you in the next lesson. Bye.